I'm Jeff Philbin, and this is Dinner DeeAs, solving the daily dilemma of what's for dinner. Today, we're showing you how to make a super sushi sampler with, get this, no raw fish. But we are going to bring a chef's magic touch to the humble can of Spam. Stay tuned. Joining me in the kitchen today is Tampa sushi superstar chef Justin Fields. He's the man behind Sushi BRB. That's why you're here, my friend, to help me get through this part. Because that's bow, rolls, and bowls. Did I say that part right?
Absolutely right.
Even better, because they're at NoHo Junction Food Court on Cass Street in Tampa. Chef Justin, we're making a sushi sampler of 3 different dishes.
Yes, sir.
And not only are you saying anyone at home could make these dishes, but for anyone that's new to sushi, there's no raw fish at all that we're cooking today.
0 raw fish, and that's a big part of what we do at Sushi BRB. We want to have that hook in the water for folks that feel like they don't like fish.
Okay.
Or, you know, sushi is too outside of their realm. We want to make it more familiar, more comfortable, more approachable.
I love it, man. So what are we doing with the first dish then?
Yeah, so our first dish is we're calling the macadamia nut chicken. And it comes over rice. It's one of the most popular dishes that we have at Sushi BRB. And it's almost like a play on what you would find in like an appetizer section of like a sushi restaurant. Something quick fried, tossed in a nice cool sauce.
Okay.
We're just throwing that over rice for a nice, you know, approachable kind of dish.
Killer. So what's the first step then?
All right, so the first step we have is kind of doing our batter right here, right? So it's a double kind of batter. We're doing a wet tempura, and then we're going into a dry tempura.
Okay.
So basically you can get, you know, you can go to the Asian market, you go to Walmart, they have tempura batters that you can actually do.
Okay.
And they're ready to go. I mean, all you have to do is add a little bit of liquid to it. You can also add, you know, I know that we've talked about doing like beer or something like that, the carbonation.
Water could be a nice way if you're not even into the whole beer scene for it.
Exactly,
okay.
Exactly. And that's what we're doing today. All I'm trying to do is get that nice viscosity or just like the thickness of the batter.
Okay.
And I'm paying attention to that because we are going into this dry flour or tempura batter afterwards. So I'm just making sure that this is not too thick, not too thin, because we're going to be dicing up our chicken, adding it to here, and then kind of finishing it there before we go into
So
oil.
what you're looking for is almost like a lighter pancake batter almost, right?
Yeah.
Would that be kind of an
almost
analogy?
like a crepe. So, you know, not too thick. And I think that we're pretty much there. That's what you're looking for right there, right? So not too thick, very crepe-ish, right?
Now, temperature of the water, is that important? Do we want room temperature? Do we want hot water? Do we want cold water? What do we want?
So I think, you know, if you were going for a true just wet tempura into oil, the temperature of the water really plays a part in making sure that it's super crispy, it's super light. This is some very cold water that we have here today, but because we are going into this dry, that kind of ensures that you get that crisp on it. And the reason that we're doing that is because for the home cook, sometimes doing a wet batter into oil, you fight with it. It sticks to the bottom, right? So this kind of gives you that level of protection. So when you fry, everything stays separate. It's easy to add and remove from the oil.
So we can do this?
Absolutely.
All right.
The reason why I love this recipe is that you can use whatever kind of chicken that you would like, as long as it's boneless. Okay. Right? So we do a white meat breast at the restaurant. Okay. We actually do it sous vide. Right, first and foremost, and the reason being is because we are cross-utilizing that chicken for sushi rolls and bowls, right? Sure. So people want that kind of poached kind of look and feel to it.
Makes sense.
But we're doing raw today because that's typically what your home cook is going to do. They're going to go to the market and grab that. So we have some tenders, and one thing we want to try to do is kind of remove that tendon from inside of that tender, right? So that just kind of makes it an easier eat that you have going on right there. Okay. Right, so we remove that, and then we're going to go into actual dicing of these tenders, right? Nice. So you are looking for a nice, I want to say, 3/4 to an inch piece. Okay. Right, so when you make this bowl,
so
like
really
you have a nice
size. Get that fork just to dig in, and really just one bite. You don't really have to work with the knife.
You're not working with the knife on it, but you could also, I mean, this would be awesome as a tender, right? You could just keep them whole and do this same kind of dish. Maybe you just serve it with some fries on the side for the kids. It would be amazing. So I have my chicken diced up, as you can see, about bite-sized. We're just going to go right into that batter with that, just like that. Right, so using my fork, just kind of toss that around.
Now, does this have to marinate for any amount of time, or?
Doesn't have to marinate. It really doesn't have to marinate. And you'll notice that I didn't really season it, right? Because the topical kind of sauces that we're going to toss this in has all the flavor that you need.
Sure.
And you could always have a little bit of soy sauce to the side, just like you would with sushi, amp it up, sriracha, whatever you like.
Sure.
You know, make it your own.
Okay.
So we're tossing that. That looks pretty good. What I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just keep these, since we're in chicken land, I'm keeping these gloves on.
It's always important when you're working with raw chicken and you've got other ingredients you're gonna be working with, to designate that station. So that way then you clean as you go, you're not cross-contaminating.
Correct.
At this stage of the game, for me,
Yeah.
I still overly do the cleaning for the chicken area.
For sure.
So.
We have our chicken board knife, we have our other board and knife,
Yeah.
right? And we have our gloves that we're about to remove once we're done with the chicken.
Exactly.
So walk
So
you
what's
through
next?
the thing, right? So we're going right into, I'm gonna just use my gloves, right? And what you wanna do is just shake off the excess. You know, we're going into this dry kind of batter here.
Now, what's inside this dry batter then?
So this is just a store-bought tempura batter.
Okay.
Right, and your typical tempura batter has a combination of starches in there. You know, sometimes you'll have cornstarch and different things of that nature. And also like some leavening agent that'll help it stay light, right? So again, for the home cook, there's no need to be starting from scratch. You're bringing out, you know, different starches, trying to get everything together.
Sure.
Very easy grab, and these tempura products are really great to use, and they're consistent.
This seems pretty quick.
This is pretty quick, man. So we're going in here with that. I just want to make sure that that's totally coated. Once I'm done coating this, I'm going to go ahead and remove my gloves,
Okay.
right? Because we're done with the chicken step.
You remove the gloves because if you want to make this for your dinner tonight, and trust us, you totally could. Get Chef Justin's recipes on our website, dinnerdeas.com. Take the phone out, scan the QR code on the screen. It's going to take you right there. No tedious typing. It's a click of a scan.
There you
You're
go.
right there.
There you go. All right.
right.
So we have our chicken dreads, right? We have our oil, right? I literally have it on setting number 4.
Setting number
right, Which
4.
is like a low, medium low.
Sure. And what type of oil do you have already in the pan?
This is just a canola oil.
Okay.
Just a neutral flavored oil, right? You could go with, you know, you never want to fry with like a olive oil, right?
Yeah.
It has all the flavor. You're not going to get the right smoke point.
Sure.
And when I say that, smoke point, very low temperature, olive oil will burn.
Yep.
Right, and start smoking. So we have this right here, but as you can see, we kind of got rid of that excess flour right
Sure.
there.
You know what? And I've got my Chef Jeff cam. Let's see all of this.
There you go.
Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to just get some of the excess batter off, right?
Exactly.
All right.
Some of that excess batter. And then we are literally, and I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to reach over you right here, pardon my reach.
No.
I'm just going to use this chicken fork just to kind of lightly drop those into our grease there.
So having it be a safety measure too. So it's not like you're just going to just throw them in.
Correct.
You got hot oil. You want to make sure that this is safe because how long will this be inside and frying up?
For chunks like this, you're looking at, you know, maybe 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
Right, and we don't need a ton. We might not even use everything we have here, but we want to just get that nice excess tempura batter removed.
Yep.
And then we are going directly into our oil.
Nice.
Because what happens if you have too much tempura batter on there, you'll just end up caking up, you know, and getting too much breading. You want that nice ratio of meat to breading to be the right way. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide this over. Like we said, we're keeping all our chicken stuff to the side.
All right.
And just kind of allowing this to cook down.
Okay.
You know?
And while that cooks down, what's happening with the cucumbers? I see those already kind of quartered up and...
Correct. So we have the cucumbers over here, right? So we are doing a kimchi quick pickle, if you will. We're starting to kind of setting the stage of what we're about to do, right? So in this bowl, we mentioned kimchi, right? So you have Korean chili flakes in there. You have sushi vinegar, which is what we flavored our sushi rice with.
Sure.
Added some salt, and then we have kimchi base, right?
Okay.
So kimchi base, when you're making kimchi, actually has some anchovies, some different things in it that brings out that salt. All of that stuff is mixed together, and we are literally gonna take our cucumbers and just I have this on setting number 1.
Okay.
Right, which is, you know, mandolin or some kind of shaver. And you wanna get just some really thin, we're going super thin.
Look at that, that's like almost like paper thin, like I see you.
Exactly.
I see you.
And, you know, one thing I'm gonna reiterate, if you are using one of these, respect it.
Oh, totally.
Respect it, because you will learn very quickly why you should respect one of these mandolins,
I
right?
have literally almost I took like literally a portion of the thumb at one point in time. It's not fun.
It's not fun at all.
But I'm gonna go for a bite of the cucumber.
So we're just gonna take those slices and put those right into that you know, intensely flavored kimchi kind of base that we have there.
And all of the details of this is on our website.
Yep.
Because we don't have to pickle this for weeks. This is a quick pickle.
It's the whole reason that we call it a quick pickle is because, listen, within, you know, 3 minutes or so, you know, if you have an intensely flavored brine like we do here, you're gonna get that flavor transfer onto the pickle themselves.
Nice.
I'm just gonna go here and use my spoon here just to give those a toss.
Okay.
Right, just wanna make sure that they're nice and coated.
Nice.
And you see that beautiful kimchi flake in there. You know, it's salty, and it's a nice, you know, it's a nice combination or a nice way to cut the fat and the sweetness and the richness of the chicken. So it's awesome to have these two kind of components in the same bowl.
What are you looking for in terms of the color for our chicken here before we know, hey, it's ready to pull out and it's been cooked?
Yep, yeah, so I'm just looking for that golden brown, you know, because we are going to be hitting this with a sauce afterwards.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that it's as fried, as hard as it can be without drying out the pieces of chicken.
Yeah.
So we're looking to get, A, the chicken cooked to 165, and then B, that proper golden brown on the outside. And having it at the right temperature allows you to do both.
Sure.
If you have it too high, you're going to burn before your chicken's done, right? So we're looking good. And then a great way to tell is the way it's bubbling, right? As that bubble starts to kind of minimize, you know, the moisture is kind of getting out of the chicken and you're very close to being done, right? So we're just going to let that kind of sit for a second.
Okay.
While we do that, I'm going to kind of talk about my sauce, right? So we have in this bowl our garlic mayo. Very simple. We took some garlic, we minced it, quick saute until you kind of get that rawness
out of it. Okay.
And then we added some mayo to it. Mix those two things together. That's the one component of the two components that kind of make our glaze for the chicken. The other piece is going to be our sweet chili. Okay. Right? So you have this garlicky, savory. You have a little bit of this sweet chili as well.
I love it.
We're going to add that. And the reason I like to do this, not kind of make this completed sauce together and kind of do it like this is because, you know, what I've learned is you get a different flavor profile off of it, right? If you do it like this and kind of what I do is I'll take this, give it a mix, but I'm not looking to completely homogenize or have this look like one sauce. It's kind of cool to kind of have that streak in it.
A little bit of it's just that change.
A little bit of streak,
okay.
and then as you toss the chicken, you kind of complete that
whole process.
Look. Correct.
But I mean, first and foremost, I mean, it's like taste test time for me. I mean,
Yeah,
I got to go in there because
you go.
You know, you had me at the garlic part.
Right?
I'm excited.
Right.
I'm excited.
There you go.
All
so
right.
I'm slowly gonna, you know, this chicken is looking pretty good to me.
Okay.
Slowly gonna kind of add this over here.
Nice.
And you see that golden color.
Yep.
You have a nice chunk there when it comes to the size of the chicken. Now you could use, again, you could use thigh. Thigh works excellent with this.
Sure.
This would be great with shrimp, right? If you did shrimp and just did a nice crisp on the outside before you actually went into, you know, doing the toss, would definitely work as well. We'll probably cook a little bit quicker, right? Because shrimp, as soon as they turn pink, you're good to go. So just making sure I'm not dropping my pieces here and everything is looking pretty good. So it's almost like
good to the last batch.
There you go. There you go. You cannot go wrong, right? So we have a couple pieces left in here, and we're kind of draining the Essex oil. That's why we have our paper. But what we're going to do is we're going to go right into our bowl.
All right. That's going to go into the bowl, and when we come back, we're going to be serving up our first part of our super sushi sampler. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs, where we give you great suggestions for what to make for dinner, supplied by great chefs. But don't worry, you don't need to be a great chef to make that at home. That's why we've got the best of the best here with us. Today, we're making a super sushi sampler with Chef Justin Fields from Sushi, BRB, Bao, Rolls and Bowls at NoHo Junction Food Court on Cass Street in Tampa. Before the break, we fried up our chicken for our macadamia chicken and rice. And let's see how we're going to serve this up.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so we've already glazed that up. I've actually added some of those mac nuts to this.
Okay.
So you get that kind of topical mac nut experience. It is mac nut chicken, after all, right? So we're just going to go right into our bowl with that. Probably not even going to fit all of it, but right. And the nice part about that is that we are going to hit that with a little bit more of that garlic aioli right over the top.
I love it.
So
because
you get that zigzag action.
End to end here, we're talking like minutes that this really kind of came together. Like,
correct.
Oh, and you're talking maybe like what, 15 minutes?
That's it. That's it. Right. So mac nuts, of course.
Okay.
Over the top. Right. A little bit of scallion.
Nice.
And then we're gonna hit it with that that kimchi pickle that we did also. And you just want to make sure that you drain that excess juice off, right?
And we just made that before the break.
That's
I mean,
it.
Literally.
I mean, look at that. That's like, if you don't like that, There's something wrong.
There's
something wrong,
I
man.
dig it, but you know what? Something might be wrong here too, because now we've heard, and we don't want to, but we're about to bombard everyone with spam. But we're not talking about the annoying email spams where that people get upset.
Yes, sir.
We're talking about spam.
Yeah.
Okay? What's
Nothing
next?
wrong with it, right? So we're doing spam musubi, right? So spam musubi, you know, it's kind of like this Hawaiian deal, right? A lot of history there, right? A lot of this was almost spam itself was almost like a ration for the soldiers in World War II, and you know was a very big part of their diet over there. After the war, right? The locals kind of latched on to that spam. You know what I mean? And they kind of permeated the existence out there in Hawaii.
So this might be one of the first fusion dishes, technically.
Absolutely.
The introduction of spam in World War II.
An American product. You see, you got nori, you got sushi rice, an ingredient called furikake. It's a very melting pot kind of fusion kind of approach here, you know? And it's very fun as well.
So straight out of the can into the pan.
That's it. That's it. We've only sliced this about 7 times, so it's nice and thick.
Okay.
Right. We also have this kind of teriyaki here, and I'm just going to give that a light flip right there.
Nice.
Right. So we have our ingredients for the teriyaki, which we have the recipe for. Very important. Get your brown.
Sure.
Right, and then just kind of hit that over the top. And what you're looking for is that reduction.
Okay.
Right, and you would typically do this with, you know, a few different slices of spam. Right, and we're just gonna kind of watch that and take it off the heat if you need to.
All right.
You just want to get that glaze on your spam because the next step is kind of building out our musubi, which is a layer of your rice, furikake spam, and wrapped in nori seaweed.
I love it. And for Chef Justin's spam musubi recipe, plus the macadamia chicken and rice we made earlier, just go to our website, dinnerdeas.com, scan the QR code up on the screen to head right there. You can also rewatch any episode of the show for anything you may have missed. I love it.
There you go. Can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. And you know what's great is that we're working with the sodium light spam.
Correct.
When we have this happening.
Very
here.
important, right? Because spam itself
important.
is really salty. That teriyaki is just going to bring it to the next level.
I dig it. We're going to take a quick break as that brings on all those flavors. And after the break, when we finish up our spam musubi, here on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz, fresh food ideas every day. And today we're making a super sushi sampler, courtesy of Chef Justin Fields. He's from Sushi, BRB, Bao, Rolls and Bowls at NoHo Junction Food Court on Cass Street in Tampa. Before the break, we turned off our spam filter to fry up our spam musubi. A little bit of teriyaki sauce, and now we got some rice.
Yeah,
what
we got the rice inside of our mold, furikake, right? So furikake is almost, it's exactly like the seaweed that we have laid out on the board, but it's a rice seasoning, so you could add it to rice and different things right there.
Is it easy to find in a grocery store?
You would probably want to hit an Asian market. You could probably find it at Whole Foods.
Okay.
You know, they've been really cool about what they offer nowadays. So, but we have our teriyaki spam that has cooled a little bit. We're just going to press that down, right? So it's all about pressing it and making it this nice little situation. So what you do after that is you kind of hold your sides and then
now you have a cool toy. I've got my cool toy with the Chef Jeff can
there you
here.
Go.
And let's see you kind of.
So all you do is, you know, like you're rolling up your sides. So a little dab of water on the outside just to make sure that when you flip this over, it has a nice place to land.
Wait, so this is it.
This is it.
We're done.
This is it. Like this is breakfast on the go. This is imagine
exactly.
like scrambled egg in there. Imagine that with a chicken cutlet.
I can totally imagine that.
It's like, come on, man.
You've inspired me, and I hope that this has inspired you to turn sushi chef for dinner tonight. You can find Chef Justin's recipe at our website, dinnerdeas.com. That's why we have the QR code. So that way you just scan and it takes you right there. Or if you want to be old school, dinnerdeas.com. And when we come back, we're going to be taste testing our super sushi sampler dinner ideas to make sure they're worthy of being a dinner dia. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz. Ideas for dinner you can make tonight. Chef Justin Fields is with us today with a super sushi sampler of macadamia chicken and rice and spam musubi. Plus, if you follow us on Instagram at Dinner Diaz, he's going to show you how to make his California roll bowl. That's right, 3 sushi dishes, 0 raw fish, Time to dig right in, my
Yes,
friend.
sir.
Here, we gotta go straight in.
All
with
right,
this.
bam. Musubi. Cheers, man. Simple.
Simple.
Not a lot to it. The light Spam changes the game, though.
Totally, because that teriyaki that's coming into it there.
Correct.
You can control that. All right, let's go going on here with our macadamia chicken.
All right.
Here.
I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna grab a little pickle to go along with it.
Nice. I'm gonna do the same thing. We gotta go for that one. A little bit of everything here.
That pickle really cuts through all, the layers. Mac nut, sweet, spicy, salty.
And what we toss in brings it all together. It's a binding agent that brings all the flavors together.
Correct.
But you need all of them in harmony to get that bite. Very good.
Absolutely.
Now, we
Dive
also
in,
have.
man.
Now we also have what we just did on Instagram, and I'm going straight in. I'm gonna try a little bit here.
California roll, hold the roll, man.
Hold the roll.
Hold the roll. Avocado, cucumber, crab. It's like, come on, man. You're not missing the roll, right?
No.
You're not missing the roll. It comes together, right? You got texture going on. We
That's
added the
giving me
fruit.
everything I'm wanting,
Right.
and that much more.
And you can customize it to how you like to enjoy it.
I absolutely love it because that's how you turn an idea for dinner into a dinner dia. Thanks again to Chef Justin Fields. His recipes are at dinnerdias.com. And go visit Chef Justin at Tampa's NoHo Junction Food Court on Cash Street. I'm Jeff Philbin. Thanks for watching, and join us next time for more Dinner Dias.